There's a lot of designs that we can talk about that have shaped over the years. Well, in this video today, I'm going to talk about the 5 major trends that are shaping design. So design as we know it, it's everlasting, it's ever changing. You know, these trends are up for debate and some people can disagree, some people can agree. This is just from what I've been honestly seeing. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the office to residential conversion. Whether you think this is political or not, this is just something that is happening and it's almost like it's a necessity for it to happen. It has been proposed multiple times. In any city that you go to, if you go into the center town, there are a lot of commercial buildings that we tend to see and we tend to ask ourselves, does anybody go there? And that is a pretty valid question to ask because there are tons of commercial buildings that seem vacant for the longest time and we haven't addressed it yet. A lot of these buildings tend to stay for years and years and years and just become simply outdated. An office to residential conversion might be just a trick in order to revamp and give it that modern look and make it seem more attractive to people. Just from one example is what we've seen happen in the pandemic. So a lot of us had to stay home. It was a dark time where we realized, you know, we can't go outside, we can't contact people, we can't be in major spaces like big buildings in order to, you know, conversate with people, all that stuff. And during those times, a lot of us workers would realize, what's the purpose of going into the office if I can do everything at home? There are so many politics around it, but basically a lot of people are not seeing the value of going into office, which is fair. From an infrastructure perspective, a office building that is converting into a residential unit is an emerging enhancement that government and municipalities are going to address and incentivize on. It's a win-win situation. You know, it helps housing crisis in so many areas. I live in Canada and we have our big cities, which are Vancouver and Toronto, and I tend to go to Toronto a lot. And I see in Toronto there are a lot of aging buildings that, you know, they are addressing in order to give that residential conversion because not many people tend to go there anymore. So the redevelopment of a new space tends to be more attractive for people who are in center town. I mean, the redevelopment of these designs tend to be very modern, very clean, just very fresh. This ties into my second trend, which is the mixed-use lifestyle district. So now I feel like there's a common consensus of the idea converting older units into something that is more fresh, brings life back into the city, is more pleasing to the eye, and it gives you that futuristic sense that things are advancing. Not only talking about housing, we're talking about entertainment, we're talking about sports, we're talking about retail. Things are being meshed together, and one of the reasons why I think this is happening is because the cost of building is crazy nowadays. Like, in order to build certain things, everything has gone up. You know, we're going through inflation, all that. So when you see a mixed-use lifestyle district that addresses everything you can get in all in one spot and within close vicinity with each other, it's a win-win situation. There's a sense of conveniency, there's a sense of mobility, there's a sense of togetherness. And when designed well, these districts can look absolutely phenomenal. You have a mixture of exterior and interior designs. There's also economic growth in combining these residential and commercial spaces and making it into a huge district. An efficient use of space, it really gives designers creativity in order to make a space that will be attractive to anybody. One place I'm thinking about is the Jewel Changji Airport in Singapore. So you have these crazy ass architecturals going on in there. We have a waterfall in the airport, there's so many hotels, there's so many shopping malls in that one space vicinity. It gives you that mixed use feel. It just gives that flow of effortless development that combines a sense of belonging. Everything is intertwined, but I really think this gives us a chance to be creative with our technology and shape real estate into a new sort of era. These mixed use districts opens up a community, it opens up social interaction, and where there's social interaction, there's comfort, and where there's comfort, there's lounge chairs, and where there's lounge chairs, there's coffee shops, and you get the idea. Going into our next shaping trend, we have the going green, we have sustainability. Regardless if we don't want to be a trend or not, it is going to be a trend because we are addressing so many things: sustainable development, sustainable housing, sustainable real estate. I personally think it's more of an obligation rather than a trend. Real estate industries are recognizing the value of placing an environmentally conscious area and building initiatives in order to address our needs and just the world's need. We have a higher standard now, and even though this not might be everybody's cup of tea, eco homes are becoming super popular, honestly, just from how aesthetically pleasing it looks. When you have a house that has green roofs, bioprolific designs, LED lighting, private eco reserves. As our population grows, one reason I think this trend is emerging is because the more we are, the more we are going to use things for our conveniency, and that includes cars, oil, all the stuff that, you know, we just throw out in the air just by simply doing things and getting to places. So a lot of the times we're going to have to come up with new ways in order to use these things without harming the environment. To be also fair, eco homes and sustainability is not affordable to everybody. And just from my experience, when I bought my first home, there was a lot of features and designs that, you know, could include, you know, that type of eco/green feature. It was an option in order to use. Deciding to use it, there is a cost, which I feel like it's kind of unfair because it's something, you know, that's going to be a necessity soon. But you know what they say, what's always better for you is always going to be more expensive. So, but other than that, going green in real estate is a design in itself. The idea is more plants than people. Always more plants than people. You know, if I had to create my own eco-friendly green home, it would definitely be a jungle paradise. I'm thinking Costa Rica, I'm thinking a treehouse, I'm thinking fresh mountain water. I'm thinking, you know, where I can go and pick my fruits, just simply existing. I'm always obsessed with looking at these home tours who have those designs in place. It's very picturesque, it's very naturistic, it's very New Zealand, it's very Switzerland, it's very Asia, it's very natural habitat. I hope one day that we can all like come to the common consensus that sustainability and eco-friendly homes is just definitely going to be a necessity moving forward, and you can find, you know, affordable practices in order for everybody to have it and not just like a certain population of people. Which I get that these are like high standard and higher quality products, but I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. The next trend we have going on is virtual reality and augmented reality. I can vouch for this because I'm a real estate agent, and most of the time when I go and see a home that is listed, and if they want to stage it to, you know, their liking, a lot of it can be virtual. In a way, this trend can be super beneficial because, you know, an augmented reality gives it an imaginative possibility in order to kind of create and brainstorm a new wave of design, and you can try things out without actually having to try it physically before implementing it. There are very much pros and cons to this, but I like to think of it as a way of like, you know games like Sims and like open world games like Grand Theft Auto. This gives an opportunity in order to think outside the box and think uniquely. This could also either go both ways, and the reason why I say that is because you can either be super unique and super creative on one side, or you can be just super boring and cookie cutter. Where I live right now, I currently live in the suburbs, and a lot of these developments, you know, they are applied through technology first. You know, they buy a piece of land and then they computerize it in a way where it's just like, okay, we could put houses here, here, there, you can put a park here and there. But if you don't have creative people within that work setting, it can always end up being like super cookie cutter, and then you find yourself with a bunch of suburban homes that just all look the same, and it just gives Vivarium vibes if you've seen the movie. That can be very scary because you just lose a lot of life. You can't categorize things and you can't separate things. Artificial intelligence goes a long way, and if we can use it in order to create something that is super visually appealing. So a new shaping emerging trend that I see going on is honestly remote working. It doesn't really sound exciting because almost everybody has an office in their home, like it's almost like a required thing. But personal office, I'm talking about very personalized office inside your home, not adhering to anything but your own ideas. And a lot of people are being super creative with this. Like, you can see a bunch of YouTube videos, a bunch of TikTok videos, a bunch of Instagram videos of people just creating their own home office space because they are working at home. It really depends on what work you are in and what you need to use. That basically defines your work position. People are finding inspiring ways in order to boost their productivity in their office space. Usually this would be given to you in a commercial space where you have to go and get it, but we are creatively moving things around. One thing that we see in a commercial space can also be attained in, you know, a residential space. These designs can be clean and bright, minimalist workspace too, a mid-century loft office. It can be an art deco place. There are so many endless possibilities to this. This is just a slight example of what you can achieve in a home office just for your own preference. You can achieve an office like this and there is no restrictions or no rules to how you can make your office. So now you're gonna have homes that are considered rooms, not only turning it into a bedroom or storage, but also turning it into a home office where people can work. I'm sure there are so many other trends that are emerging through real estate and that are shaping design, but those are the top 5 that I believe that stood out in my opinion. These just keep going, honestly. And out of all the 5 that I talked about, I think the one that I'm most excited about is these mixed-use lifestyle districts, because I feel like it just, I don't know, it just seems very futuristic. I'd rather be in a place where you can get everything instead of going super far out in order to get something. This is an evolution of trends that are going to shape other trends, and we never know where we might end up, honestly. I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope it ignited some sort of conversation in you about what is really changing and what's going to be everlasting, what is going to go away, and what is not going to last as a trend, honestly. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys really like this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. I will do more videos like this, and we'll see each other next time when there's a new emerging trend and I'm gonna talk about it. Bye.